This is a Glass Box Media podcast.
Welcome to My Worst Date. I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina.
Okay, Christina, you are planning a wedding right now.
Yes.
I've planned a wedding. Cassie's planned a wedding.
Yeah.
It's stressful. Everybody and their mom and their aunt and their uncle and their cousin feels like they need to have an opinion, and
Yeah.
they get to have an opinion.
They don't.
On the way that you do your wedding. They don't.
They
They
do not.
shouldn't. Like, do what makes you happy. Like, honestly.
The way I wasn't the one. The way that I was built for this, like when I planned my wedding, the way that I was just like, bap, 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 and didn't give a fuck. I went dress shopping by myself. I called my mom. She came, she picked out her dress and she's like, I guess we're done. I'm like, kind of felt that way. But I'm like, I just did not.
I mean, I wanted to have the inclusion of like my family and friends on big events. Like I wanted that. I wanted them involved, but I didn't want necessarily like all of their opinions. Like I had a child-free wedding for the most part, with the exception of, you know, the kids who were in the wedding. Like that's it. Like, and there was pushback on all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But I was just like, no, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to do, you know? So like, all of those things I really like stuck to my guns on. But like everybody has an opinion and they feel free to share that opinion. They feel free to guilt you about things.
So stupid.
I saw this, that a bride went viral. Let me know your opinions on this.
Okay.
A bride went viral for spending $1,950 on Chili's takeout for her 100 guest wedding, because it was economical for her, because like, you know, it was a lot more expensive to go with like a caterer or whatever to take it out to the venue.
Our first talk about doing a wedding was to just rent taco trucks.
Yeah.
Here's what I think.
It just depends on the vibe of the wedding. I mean, like, did you have like this big, you know, huge ordeal at the Greek Orthodox church, and then you have and then you got like some Chili's for picnic style? Like, I don't know.
I just feel like, who fucking cares?
I mean,
like, it's her wedding. Like, that's the thing. Because I feel like I was blown away by the comments, because there were a lot of negative comments that like, this is so rude to your guests and stuff like that. And I'm like, why are you going to a wedding? Because I feel like there's a lot of conversations around weddings that center the guests. And listen, you want your guests to have a good experience. For me, it was all about like party for the guests. Like I wanted to make sure that everybody was having a good time.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's not why you go to a wedding.
Definitely
like, you don't go to a wedding for that. Like there's this discourse as well around like people who are sober who refuse to have alcohol at their weddings, or like people who are vegan who refuse to have meat at their weddings.
That's
and it's
their
like,
fucking wedding.
It's their wedding. And they're like, well, they should consider us and what we want. And it's
why?
Like,
are you paying?
Why?
Are you paying?
Exactly
Who the
right.
fuck is
I'm
you?
Like, she's feeding you. Right? Like it's Chili's, maybe, like whatever.
Yeah.
Like she's feeding you. She's doing what works best for her, because weddings are fucking expensive.
Yeah.
And if you're not going there to just celebrate the bride and groom and like be with them to celebrate this occasion, like
don't
fucking stay home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're going to care that much about, you know, that was my opinion on it. And I just feel like so many people center themselves in other people's events.
No, it's always the people with the biggest opinions that put a 20 in a card. You know what I mean? Like, it really is.
Truly.
It really is.
You just paid. So basically you paid $20 for like just an evening for your own entertainment. That's what this is what you're looking at it, right? Like it's garbage.
Oh, man. And yeah, you should be able to make your wedding whatever you want. I mean, I been to all kinds of weddings, and I've had opinions about them or whatever. I would never share them with people, but
well, and at the end of the day, and here's the thing, it feels really like, and I hear what you're saying, Casper. It's like, well, if you have a big elaborate wedding and then you have like a Chili's,
it doesn't match. Maybe it doesn't match.
It doesn't match, but I don't care that much about it. But it ends up feeling extremely elitist and like very classist when people have these really strong opinions about like backyard weddings or potluck weddings or whatever.
Jesus.
Fucking fuck off. Like
who cares?
I love a potluck wedding.
Listen, I love a potluck in general.
No,
we know.
Shit, man.
We haven't had one
deviled
of them.
eggs.
Mm-mm.
Get some meatballs.
Yum, yum.
All kinds of good stuff.
Look, whatever you want, keep it as stress-free and laid back as you want it to be.
Yeah.
You know? And I just feel like brides get so much judgment no matter what you choose to do.
Again, this is why I was like, I am the one who was built for this, because I was like, I don't give a fuck. We're having no alcohol. We're having a champagne toast. That was it. I'm like, we're not paying for alcohol. We have like literally both our families have like chock full of alcoholics. Like, if you want
like, we don't want shit to get
your own
crazy.
shit.
Yeah.
And there was a bar, not open bar, but a bar literally down, because we had it in a venue that had a bar that was close by. If you really, really had to go get alcohol,
need that drink.
and we had it in the afternoon. That was our thing too. So it was like we had a mimosa toast type situation, champagne toast.
Yeah,
that was it.
It's like a brunch time.
Yeah, it was a brunch time affair, you know. And we had a no kids policy too, but we also set up a backup plan just in case. So we hired somebody we had a room set aside, and so it was like had hotel rooms in it. So we had a room set aside that we hired someone.
A baby cage.
A baby, exactly. We had a babysitter, movies, bought pizza for them, whatever. Like it was.
Put the kids in the cage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we just, you know.
Yeah,
But-
you get to do you get to have whatever kind of wedding that you want, because I did see that on TikTok where somebody was saying that they had this was so fucked up. It was am I the asshole? And it was the bride's mom writing in because
Already yes.
right?
Already yes.
Already yes.
I don't need to hear it. The answer is yes.
Yes. But listen to what she did. So like she was basically saying that her daughter and her son-in-law to be were having a vegan alcohol-free wedding. They didn't drink and they were both vegans, like, and that was a principle for them. Like they were like, this is, you know,
that's their lifestyle.
It's their lifestyle and it's more than
their wedding.
Right. And they're paying for it. And for a lot of people, like veganism is like, it's an ethical thing for them,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
So they're not going to break their ethics for you to enjoy a hamburger at their wedding or whatever.
Right.
Not that they're serving hamburgers at weddings, but anyway.
Whatever. Yeah.
Whatever.
The point.
So the mom was like, my daughter is mad at me because she's like, all these family members were coming to me and complaining and they refused to bend on the alcohol and like meet rule. So
Back up your fucking daughter.
So I planned a separate reception for those family members. Not even like after their reception, during, like at the same time, like after the ceremony, half of her family would go to a different location where they could have like booze and meat.
That's more important.
You've
just
fucked up. And she's like, now my daughter uninvited me to the wedding. And I'm like, I fucking
she wasn't going to be there anyway, apparently.
Imagine your mother being like, I don't need to go.
Being so pressed about booze and meat.
Right, you can't make it one afternoon.
I consume both of those things, and I can make it afternoon.
Right.
Like you're that fucking pressed about that.
Right.
Can you imagine?
So weird.
And if they it was on the other hand, right? And they were asked to go to a wedding where there was meat served and alcohol served. Do you think they'd throw a fit?
Do you know how often sober people have to go to events with booze, and how often people who have dietary restrictions have to? You make like you pack things for yourself. I don't eat meat, so if I know I'm going somewhere, I research it beforehand to be like, what can I eat? If it looks like there's not a lot that I can eat, I eat before I go. Like I understand that like that is something that happens, and I don't expect other people necessarily to cater to that. Like, you know, so I couldn't believe that. And I couldn't believe the number of people in the comments who were like, well, why can't they just accommodate their guests? Like, I don't understand why, like, just because they don't partake in those things doesn't mean that everybody else should go without. And it's like, yes, it does.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. It's
like, it actually does.
Their event.
And if you have a problem, like, swing by McDonald's on the way and get a flask in your car. But I propose that if you can't go one evening without like any booze, that maybe you might want to look into that.
Yeah.
Like if you have to like sneak off to your car to take shots, like because you can't make it. Like, and I understand that there's socially uncomfortable events, weddings are, they can be receptions, but like, come on,
really,
fucking get it together.
Yeah.
Get it together.
Man, it's no.
It's a no. Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
you're the asshole for sure.
Wedding planning, as I've tried to make it as chill as possible, but even still, man, that stuff fucking snowballs. Man, it really does. Even if you try to keep it like relaxed, chill.
You and I both are like, we tried trying real hard to be like chill bride. I want to be chill bride. You know what I mean? But it's like
I want to be cheap bride.
Amen.
Too.
Amen.
I want to be cheap bride. Now, just looked at our budget sheet and I was like, how did this happen?
Dude,
how did this fucking happen?
Wait until you get closer to the wedding and you just stop keeping track. Because like there came a point where I was just like, fuck it. I'm like, what's another $100? Like whatever. Like, you know,
God.
It stacks up to the point where you're just like, is money even real?
You're like shit, I forgot we need a cake.
Like whatever. Like who cares?
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's oh man, the whole thing too. It's just like examining the idea of a wedding I guess is weird enough when you think about it. Like a contract that you sign with the government.
Wouldn't do it again. I'll tell you. I'll tell you that much. Like it definitely wouldn't throw a big thing ever again.
I know. Yeah, I tried because this is number 2 for me, but I got a number 1.
You got a rookie over here. Got a first timer.
Yeah, Mr. First Timer. Yeah. So, you know, kind of had to go big or go home. So.
Yeah.
Oh, what else is going on? I mean, we were talking beforehand. The only thing that I've had on my mind this week, I've had the red string out. I have been Scandival.
Man,
girl,
when I tell you,
I feel like TikTok has given me all of the information on that because I have still not watched Vanderpump Rules. I got overwhelmed because I went to go watch the reunion and I got so overwhelmed that I was like, I don't think I can watch this because I've not seen this show.
Yeah. You're like, I'm lost.
And also, just like the entire situation gives me so much anxiety.
See, I haven't watched it for the past like 3 or 4 years. So I watched it like I went through the Lala, I went all through, like I saw a lot of Vanderpump Rules.
Yeah.
But then COVID hit and I was just like, I can't watch anything reality. Like I literally just jumped hard off any reality.
That's when I jumped in.
Oh yeah. See, I couldn't because I was like, I fucking can't watch people enjoying outside life when I'm stuck inside. They're just
like,
I can't.
Fucking dare they?
Honestly, I couldn't. Like it was like I was angry. It made me angry to watch. So I was just like, I got to step away from this. But so I know enough of the characters that I do feel like I could probably watch the reunion and like at least
understand what's going on.
I'm going what's going on.
Yeah, I've definitely seen enough TikToks for whatever reason after never having seen a single Vanderpump Rules episode ever. All of a sudden last week my timeline is inundated with this whole saga and I was like, well, I mean, they know I love mess. So and
it is the messiest.
Oh, I like got a monocle out and just like dug deep in, like
it also
putting
deals
it all
with
together.
The most like vapid and stupid people I've ever fucking seen in my life. Like Tom Sandoval and Raquel are so dumb. I'm gonna go on record, okay? And I've not seen that show, but like I've seen enough clips to be like, these people are just the worst. Like that's what the issue, like all of it's bad, but it's also that it's these people. Like, you know what I mean? Like
these people's Tom Sandoval is a grown fucking adult. Like Raquel looks like a baby, but Tom Sandoval's old as fuck.
Yeah.
He is like 40s, in his 40s. Lead singer of a fucking cover band.
Karaoke band.
Fucking disgusting mustache.
Awful.
Oh my God. Cassie showed us a clip.
He looks like an old-timey magician. His face looks like plastic's been melted on it.
He's
definitely had shit done. Like he's had work done. And I'm like, he's at that place where you're like, you're too young to have had the work you've had done.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the fucking
everyone on that show's had work done though. I saw in that trailer where I was like, everybody on that show.
But he has had work done.
His face looks very tight.
Is so tight.
Yeah.
It literally looks like somebody had a heat gun and plastic to his face. His hair Can we talk about how he has like literally been shoe polish black dyeing his hair for way too long?
He's
he
scared
looks
of aging.
garbage.
Yeah, he does look like he's scared to grow up, like Peter Pan kind
Serious
of
Arrested
situation.
Dude, the clip you showed us, Cassie, of him singing, and it was not like, this isn't something that he would have posted or anything like that. Like, it is someone in the audience taking a video.
A girl I know went to his show in Chicago, and she posted like a clip of him singing Stacy's mom. And when I tell you, it is like first of all, he has an iPad on like a stand, which dead ass looks
We've
like
all
he's
performed in this room. Like, that
all
is absolutely fucking like amateur hour. Yes.
Be off
Stop.
book, man. Be off book,
dude.
Book.
Honey.
For a song you've sung on the radio 8,000 fucking times, like, you don't know those. I know those words by heart. Are
and
you
you
serious?
just keeps looking at it too, obviously, because it's like guiding him through, right?
God. He's got the bouncing ball from like
I
word to
hope
word.
so.
Karaoke.
The thing that really though presses me is how fucking off key he is. Like, sir, it was like barely glorified.
Baby-
I've been to better karaoke.
Baby cannot sing, and he also, like, his cadence is wrong. Which again, I'm like, you've sang this in the radio, like in the car. Like, how do you not know
that you can't hit those notes?
and how it goes, like how the rhythm of the song goes.
For people that don't know why we're throwing this whole ass man under a bus, if you haven't heard, in a brief synopsis, Tom Sandoval was partnered up with Ariana for 9-ish, almost 10 years, have a house together, whole ass like fucking
whole
life
life together, right?
And she's in the front row cheering on his shit ass cover band, and her friend sends an explicit video to her man's phone, and that's how she finds out about him having a 7-month-long affair with her friend while she's like dealing with her grandmother's death, while dealing with the death of her dog, all this stuff right under her nose, under her roof.
Yeah.
While she's sleeping.
Fuck you.
At home. It's
really
Worst.
disgusting. It's disgusting.
It's disgusting.
And it's that guy. That's the thing that pisses you off, because Ariana
audacity.
is so cute. Like, could
that red dress
so
for
much
the reunion.
better.
Yeah, I saw that.
So snatched.
I saw that. That was a
She
revenge
looks
dress for sure.
fucking incredible.
Yeah, it was a revenge dress
I
for sure.
love it.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, good for you. You never have to sit through any more of those fucking terrible karaoke
it is
level.
better on the other side.
Oh my God, girl. Like,
Honey, true.
you never have to pretend to be into it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like she's in the crowd, like every time he misses a high note, she's just like, oh, so proud of you, sweetheart. You're doing amazing, sweetie.
Oh my God. Just the villain. Just absolute
when he
coward.
looks like a villain.
He does.
He
looks like he should be twirling his mustache.
Yeah,
doesn't he?
see?
Like he walks on tiptoes.
Oh God.
The only thing I haven't been able to figure out yet, and maybe somebody can comment and share with me, because it is something that's really bothering me in my brain. Is this bitch's name Rachel or Raquel?
Raquel.
I know some people keep saying Rachel and they're spelling it Rachel, but I think it's Raquel.
It's Raquel.
Okay.
Because it's Raquel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is Raquel.
Yeah.
But then I was like, was her name used to be Rachel? And she's like, no,
Amazing.
actually it's
Maybe.
Raquel.
That would be fucking
Amazing.
hilarious.
What?
Amazing.
That would be amazing.
What is happening? Why is it Rachel and Raquel? Because people, even fucking Andy Cohen has said like both. Yeah.
Oh,
so
no.
I'm just like, where's
don't know.
the
I need
to know.
mismatch in that? Yeah.
Sweet. She's a honey. Like you look
Yeah.
at her and you're like, oh honey. Like
so fucked,
the
though.
energy she puts up.
Dude, but I'm sorry. I'm no saint either. I've done some fucked up shit in my life, but like your friend,
dude.
Oh, I'm not excusing her behavior. I'm just saying like
Like-
her whole energy is very like Bambi.
that's snake. I think the Bambi thing protects from like that's a vicious thing.
She pretends to be clueless. She's like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Yeah, those
Yeah.
people.
So I shouldn't
dangerous.
do that? He told me it was fine.
Oh God. Some of the
Could you
clips from
imagine?
that show have me.
my brain just now was like, it felt like a short circuit. It was like, you're in your fucking friend's house and she's asleep in the other bedroom and you are fucking her man.
Yeah, I can't. It's yeah. Take it in, seep it in.
and
It's
in her
like
car.
And in her fucking car.
Okay,
in
like,
her whip.
listen,
in her ride.
No, in her car.
Oh, in Ariana's car.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
No.
Imagine your car.
No.
Cassie
Not in my way.
like drinks in her car.
You get in and you're like, it smells like sex in here. You know what I mean? Like,
You would die.
I would.
yeah.
The detail.
You could never get it clean. You just got to turn that car in. You got to get a new car.
You guys, I'm sweating.
Yeah.
We have to change the subject. I'm sweating.
I know. It gets heated real fast because I mean, like, if you are somebody that is like, I feel like a more level-headed human being, of course, the first thing you think is empathy. You put yourself in those shoes. Like, what would that be like? What would that feel like? You know? And
she rips his ass up though. Like,
good
so
for her, man. Anger is a tool.
When she said, like, I regret ever having loved you.
Yeah.
It's like,
good for her.
oh,
That's
yeah.
real.
Yeah.
That feels
is.
real.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
Well, should we fuck, marry, kill reality stars?
I feel like we need to.
Shit. Okay.
I feel like we need to. That's what I was leaning into.
That's gonna be.
There's so many, and also we need
so
to know
many.
them because
I know.
there's so
I'm
many
like-
shows that it makes it like a little tough.
Oh man.
Because we haven't all seen everything.
I know.
Right.
And it's been a long time since I watched a reality show, as I told you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
well,
we definitely can't do Vanderpump Rules.
oh God, no.
Oh
No,
God.
Right now, because
I've not seen that show, but most of the people on that show seem
Yeah.
like sketchy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't know about all that, but okay. I'm I'm thinking I go all the way back to my youth. I'm gonna
Oh,
go
wow.
all the way back to my youth, and I'm gonna put Flava Flav in the mix.
Oh
Wow.
Do you remember what a time? The
Flava of Love.
the early
Brigitte
2000s.
Nielsen.
The early 2000s, when you had like 4 fucking seasons of women going on a show to fight for Flava Flav. Flava Flav was
to
the
fight for a
prize.
man who wore a necklace that was actually a clock.
And this man, and he had like 18 children with like
Yeah,
10
no
different
thanks.
women.
Nah.
Like, and
No.
everyone on that show having
Mess.
to pretend like they think he's hot.
Oh, mess.
And I watched all of it, like just Flava Flav making out in the hot tub with so many fucking people.
bleh.
That
I
show,
never watched that show.
That show had some of the best TV moments. Like it gave us New York, hilarious.
Yes.
It also I will never forget the season that chick put chicken in the microwave,
Oh, Jesus
like a raw
Christ.
chicken.
Oh, no.
Microwave. I was just
Do
like,
you
amazing?
have you guys ever watched the boat show, the one that's
Below Deck.
Below Deck?
I haven't.
I haven't either.
Okay, well, never mind then. That
But I mean,
takes mine out.
picks it. We've got I'm on an article now with like the hottest reality
okay.
stars.
Yeah.
You remember Ty Pennington, the carpenter
Oh,
from
fuck yeah.
Trading Spaces?
Well, hold the phone. If we're doing that, then I can't do Flava Flav. That doesn't.
Yeah.
We can't do the hottest reality stars and Flava Flav. That won't work.
Yeah. And then does that go into like now we're just HGTV guys or?
Yeah, that's true. It's kind of reality, I
Yeah,
guess.
I mean,
we
it
got
is.
Jersey Shore too.
Oh
my
my
God,
That's on the
God.
hottest list?
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
I never watched
Who?
Jersey Shore.
They
I
put
did.
they
Thank
put Sammy.
Oh, Sammy,
I
sweetheart.
don't know who
Yeah.
that is.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna do Snooki.
Oh yeah, Snooki,
Okay.
Snooki. I love that. Okay. She seems fun, to be
Yes.
honest. Like she
Yeah.
really does.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
torn. I don't know. I mean, I'm tempted to do Bret Michaels just because of, if we're
Go
going,
for it,
if we're
because
going
that
to go.
was also that show was so fucked up. I mean, not that it was any more. Rock of Love was not any more fucked up than
No.
Flava of Love, but
No.
the typecasting that they do on
Yeah.
these shows, like I remember they were just like, get any woman who's like
I had never-
got the biggest implants you've ever seen, the blondest hair you've ever seen.
Oh my God, Hollywood
Like-
Heather, I know her. I actually really do know her. Yeah.
Yeah,
Bret
okay.
Michaels. Okay.
right.
Oh,
All right.
man.
This is.
This is probably going to be the hardest
I
FMK
actually,
we've ever
I
done.
hate
I know
this.
what I'm going to do, actually.
Okay.
Listen, a decision had to be made. I'm
Yeah.
making one very quickly.
Okay.
I'm going to marry Snooki.
Yep.
Same.
Okay. I'm
Yep.
marrying Snooki. She also, like, she was wild, but she was funny. And she was in her, like, early 20s. And
She's
I'm like,
amazing now.
yeah.
She
and
seems really cool.
she seems really cool now. She's on TikTok making funny TikToks about how,
Yep.
like, she used to be in them streets. I love it. She's also tiny. I can just put her in my pocket.
Yep.
Like, I love it. I am going to fuck Bret Michaels.
Oof.
Listen. Neither option is good, Christina.
It's not good.
It isn't.
And he's going to keep the headband on, the bandana on.
He better actually. I'm afraid of what happens when that comes off. It's like that. It's like that scary story with the takes the ribbon off her neck and her head falls off.
But it's his track.
It's his hair.
Just like his hair.
It's just his hair is actually attached to it. Yeah.
To the bandana. It's attached to it.
It's like one of those
glued on. But listen, between the two options, because I feel like you got to take sufficient protections either way, because both of those men very possibly have.
Bret Michaels is married, has 2 kids. They've been married for a really long time.
When did they get married?
Oh, it's been a long time.
After
like
Rock of Love,
yeah,
I guess.
Yeah. And he's I mean, I think he was probably a partier back in the day, but he's got diabetes. So he's like really strict about like what his intake is. Mm-hmm. Like he's got to be very, So
that doesn't sound like a good time, actually.
I don't know. He seems like a really nice guy. The more I have known about him.
Okay.
Past
I
that
also
show.
want to clarify that made it sound like him taking care of himself. It's like a turnoff.
Yeah, you were like,
that's not what I mean.
Sounds gross.
I just meant that like.
I bet that wedding didn't have alcohol. Lame.
I just meant picking him for like a fuck is then like, you're like a suburban dad. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's not, but I cannot bring myself to want to have sex with Flava Flav. Like I simply can't do it.
Absolutely not.
I just, I do feel like I could get to a place where I could be like, we can do this with Bret Michaels. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I do feel like he would be a little like, I think he would be like surprisingly respectful.
I feel like he's the kind of guy who is a giver in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
I think that he's the kind of guy who would like send you home with like a goodie bag, like a swag bag or something. And thank you for coming.
He'd bring a towel over, take care of you.
Yeah.
He's that kind of guy for sure.
So I am gonna fuck Bret Michaels and then
I can't even consider fucking Flava
you
Flav.
Not even a little bit.
That
not even
man
a little bit.
Is not hot.
I'm actually gonna switch it up though. I'm gonna marry Bret Michaels.
Okay.
Yes, because he does seem like a genuinely good guy now. Like he's got 2 daughters. They're beautiful. Him and like he seems like a really kind of cool guy who's gotten his shit together. Who
too much
really,
of that show. I think that watching that show just gave me the ick. And
he does but even on that show, he kind of seemed like he was probably nicer than he even wanted to be. Like he was supposed to be this bad boy and he's kind of just a nice guy. Like legitimately you're like, oh, that's kind of boring. So then the women were like
out of fucking control.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The only reality show person that I knew in real life was on when I lived in Miami. I knew one of the girls on Bad Girls Club.
Oh,
remember that show?
That show was
mess.
Fucking messy.
And so was she.
Oh my God.
Believable content.
Oh, so right it was real then.
Yeah.
It was real.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh,
Good
Lord
to know.
have mercy.
Who she was, man.
Didn't you know a couple of the people from the tattoo show too?
Yes.
Miami
yes.
Ink.
Yeah, Miami.
Yeah.
Miami
Ink. Yeah, because they worked at a tattoo shop right across the street.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were pretty messy as well.
Believable.
Heard some tea.
I bet. Oh, I bet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I bet.
Mm-hmm. I think that. So I'm gonna marry Bret Michaels.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna fuck Snooki.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah,
it's
gonna be so. Those tits.
Yeah,
Shit.
I mean, and she does seem like she's like, the party's here. Like, we are having fucking fun
dude,
in bed.
How much fun would it be to just like, Snooki, if you're listening, be friends with us.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Truly.
Does she live in LA now or does she in New York?
I think she's still in New Jersey.
Or in Jersey. Because I would love to be friends with Snooki. She just seems so great, so fun. She also seems like a good mom.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm gonna marry. Ooh, this one's tough. I think I've got to marry Bret Michaels as well. I need somebody like a little bit low key and relaxed,
stable.
Yeah, I think Snooki would be really bored with me.
Oh yeah,
really quickly.
Yeah,
It
we
does
need too
not
much
seem
chaos.
like a homebody type. You know what I mean? So
Bret does.
Bret
seems like
Yes, he
seems
does.
like a homebody. You know,
I gotta know what his sign is now.
Snooki. Oh, I know. We got to check that on a break
right.
for sure. But yeah, and then I'm gonna fuck Snooki because again, I just think that would be just a hell of a night.
She seems like a
so
good time.
much fun. Yeah. Yeah.
Bret Michaels is a Pisces.
Oh, okay.
There we
Tracks.
go.
I
It
like
makes
it.
sense.
I like it.
He does have very chill
Yep.
energy.
He has that like I used to be an addict, Pisces, and now I'm a meditating Pisces.
Snooki is a Sagittarius.
Oh, there,
which
we knew it.
Makes so much sense.
Like so much sense.
And now I have to know just because. So Flava
Cancer?
Flav. Yeah, predictions.
Oh
Yeah.
God. Oh.
He's not an earth sign. There's no way.
He's also a Pisces.
Yep, that tracks.
Wow.
Him
I
and
knew
Bret
it.
Michaels have birthdays one day apart. So March
Amazing.
15th, March 16th. So
Tracks.
Interesting.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, I made the right choice for myself.
Me too.
Yeah, there
I'm
you go.
very
Me too.
proud of
There you
myself for having made that decision.
Yeah. So much for never another Pisces. I eat my words.
Had to do what you
Here
had
we
to do. We do have a new patron. So we want to give a big patron shout out, worsty welcome to Melissa Fink.
Welcome, Melissa.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us on Patreon. We will get your patron reward.
Rewards.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. I'm here to support.
Thank you.
I'm your hype man. I'm your Flava
You
Flav.
are my Flava
I
Flav,
am.
and I appreciate that about you. But Melissa, we will get your rewards out to you as soon as possible. The way I was so scared to say that just now, 'cause I thought I was going to fuck it up again. And in the meantime, if you have any suggestions for us for Fuck, Marry, Kills, for Tainted Loves, for anything, Tainted Love movies, please don't hesitate to reach out. We always love hearing from our patrons.
Yeah. And if you ever want to leave us a nice gift, you can always join our Patreon group if you want to, but you can also just do something really that's free, and that's leave us a nice review on our Apple Podcasts or I think Spotify you can now do reviews. So we would love those. We always love hearing from you guys. So we appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yay. Well, you guys want to take 5 and we'll come back with stories?
Yeah. Cool.
And we're back. All right, Cass.
All right. I have a story for you guys that's going to piss you off.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So get prepared to be furious.
Okay.
All right. Met a guy off an online dating app. We hit it off and decided to go on a first date. That afternoon, he offered to pick me up at my home. I passed and said I would meet him at a rendezvous point
Smart.
because it was close to my home.
We love a queen.
Yep. I don't want him to go out of his way, et cetera, et cetera. We met at a bar while waiting for a soccer game to start, allowing fans in due to the rain. Once the soccer game opened, we made our way there, ate and had a couple of beers, even met a couple that was super nice. Home team lost the match and we decided to continue on for a nightcap. Second drink. Now, my fourth for the date, I tell him I'm getting tired and I really need to go home. He offers to drive me. I politely decline.
Yeah. Why? Stop.
Yeah, it's fine.
I don't want you to come to my house.
Clearly, I don't want you to find
Yes.
my house. Thank you. I politely decline. He insisted and I decline again. Then he offers to walk me to the Uber pickup point. I thanked him and said that would be nice.
Okay.
Perfect.
That sounds right. Yeah. Okay.
This is
great.
exactly right. Everything's going as planned. On the way, we are walking down the stairs and naturally I hold onto the rail. He grabbed my free hand and tells me to watch my step and then pulls with great force. I flew all the way against the opposite wall and landed on my ankle. He tells me to get up, stop crying.
What?
Don't
What?
make a scene. I told him I was seriously injured
Why
and
would he fucking
needed
do
medical attention. The man picked me up and dragged me out of the building.
Dude,
What the fuck
What would you
happened?
do if you saw,
Oh.
if I saw a guy manhandling a girl like that?
Oh,
like
yeah.
Immediately.
with somebody stepping in, because
Yeah.
like that looks
Like, what do you think? Like, you're having a decent night. You're walking to an Uber stop. Why?
And she had it. She had the railing. She's fine. She doesn't
fine.
need you to hold her hand.
What the fuck are you doing? Once outside, a concerned citizen asked
Yeah.
if I was okay. Us. Sobbing, I said, no, I need help, please. He called the police over. My local police dismissed my attacker.
Of course.
Used my phone to hail an Uber home and didn't want to even help me into the car. The next day at urgent care, the x-ray revealed that my leg had been broken.
Jesus Christ.
The man messaged me, though our date didn't end well, I felt like it was off to a strong start.
Go
You
fuck
breaking
yourself
my leg negates any
Anything.
future involvement,
in the
sir.
strongest possible terms.
Right.
Go fuck yourself. Wow.
Asking if I would go out with him
Oh my
again. I
God.
did not respond. I blocked him, informed the app of what happened. I removed myself from dating apps for like 6 months last week. I began dating again finally. The guy, she was 39 at the time, and the guy who basically attacked her was 52.
Disgusting.
Just what the fuck, dude?
Dude, that came out of nowhere.
Out of
too.
nowhere.
That's very strange.
Like, why?
Nowhere. You're like chilling, watching a soccer game, having fun, couple drinks in.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
no
I
big
don't
deal.
understand that because it's just like because I'm trying to be like, okay, did he just pull harder than he intended? But if he did that,
but then
why wouldn't he? Then why wouldn't he be like, oh my god, like I'm so sorry.
So sorry.
I didn't mean to, like that's such a fucking
your
weird
reaction. Don't make a scene.
Ew.
Yeah.
No,
Fuck you.
The reddest of red flags.
Honestly,
Don't make a
Run.
scene when I've broken my leg.
I've never broken
Truly.
a bone, but I've heard it's painful.
Same.
And yeah,
I feel a scene will be made if I broke a bone.
I'm a baby. I'm baby. And like that kind of pain. No.
I've made a scene over much less.
Me too. Honestly. Me too.
I am
Just being inconvenienced. I've made
and
scenes.
scene.
Yeah.
Okay. Met this British guy online. We talked for a while, then decided to meet. First date went extremely well, gave him a goodnight kiss, and was feeling pretty positive about the night. We continued to talk after that, and about 2 weeks later, we went out again. Our second date was going to be volunteering in our community. I love that.
Aw.
That's nice. Yeah.
I love
Yay.
this.
I love that.
I love it.
Of course, we had to pick the hottest day in the summer. I went over to his place to pick him up, and he wasn't ready. Said we needed to stop by Walmart to pick up some boots on the way. No problem, I thought, taking him to Walmart. Well, everyone in the city seemed to have the same idea and no boots to be found. We went to about 5 other stores searching, and finally he says, let's just go back to my place, watch a movie, and I'll make dinner. So we head back. I walk into his place, and it is filthy.
Well, of course he wasn't expecting guests. To be fair.
Cassie. The white couch is covered in ground-in dirt. The floors had obviously not been mopped for some time. I picked the spot on the couch that seemed the cleanest and awkwardly start watching the movie. He does not have air conditioning, so we are both starting to feel the heat. He then asks me if I want to go downstairs because it's cooler. I oblige. He says his tenants had moved out about a week ago. We get downstairs and there's a small TV and a couch that's not as dirty and a coffee table with a hot plate on it. There's a mountain of dishes on this hot plate that he blamed it on his tenants.
Oh no.
No, we've seen your place, Suter.
Movie is pretty boring, so I make an excuse to use the washroom. Washroom is probably the most disgusting thing.
You just watched.
Yes.
You just watched Queer Eye.
The first episode of Queer Eye, the latest
in that
season.
frat house. That bathroom gave me nightmares.
The scream that Jonathan Van Ness scrumped whenever he walked into that bathroom, I felt that in my soul.
Yeah.
And
then one eyelash. I was like,
what woman is
lady has been like trying to get cleaner using that fucking bathroom?
They really did. Okay, listen, I was going to save this for the end, but we'll just talk about it now because I am watching Queer Eye. That first episode, they really did walk into that frat house and it really was like the Lost Boys. It was like boys sleeping in every fucking like nook and cranny.
Yep.
Like just
clothes
popping out of everywhere. The
dishes.
most disgusting litter box I've ever seen in my whole fucking life. I'm like, where is the cat? I didn't see a single
the cat the whole time. Are they using the litter box?
Oh my God.
Because it's just as clean as the bathroom.
And the kitchen, like, bro.
Dude.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
And this did remind me of that. It's part of why I was like, I'm going to tell this one. So, made an excuse to use the washroom. Washroom is probably the most disgusting thing I've ever seen.
Gross.
Mold in the corners. Mirror so dirty that you couldn't even see. The mirror is so dirty that you can't even see. Toilet stained and just scary all around. When you walk in and there's like, the toilet is like, brown speckled, speckly.
I don't want to sit on that.
Yeah.
The smell, I can actually like smell it in my nostrils right now. Like a dirty boy bathroom. It's such a unique odor.
You do not invite someone to come back to your place if it's like that. Like, I'm sorry, you don't do it.
Oh God.
I do my thing and realize there's no toilet paper.
Of course there's not.
Of course not.
Of course there isn't. This is also the tenants, right? Like they're downstairs in the tenant place. Like, of course there's no toilet paper. That would be my first look.
There's a lot of shit down there, though. There's
that's true.
There's a hot plate and a couch, and so
Oh no!
look ahead, and there was a nook that had a wire storage shelves in it. I look closer, and it is full of dirty dishes, just piles of dirty dishes
in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm. The one pot that was right in my line of vision was half full of cooked spaghetti that was still somewhat moist. It's still moist.
I told you guys about that roommate that I had that I bitched at forever to do the dishes, and I thought she finally did them, and she had hidden them under the sink.
Fuck you.
That's
so fucked up.
Grossed out. But being in a dirty bathroom, like a shit-stained toilet bathroom, and there's a pot of spaghetti, like cooked spaghetti.
Spaghetti's not in the bathroom.
Why is it in here?
Shower spaghetti.
She says, who eats spaghetti in their dirty bathroom? Now, I know this isn't from the tenants, but now realize the fact that he is an absolute pig. I get out of there as soon as I can without it being blatantly obvious that I am horrified, but I sure didn't want to eat leftover bathroom spaghetti for lunch.
No.
No.
I texted him the next morning saying that I didn't feel anything and it was over. By far one of the most bizarre situations I have ever been in. And the first date went so well.
Oh my
Dude,
God.
but like,
woof.
It worries me when people have like so little self-awareness. Like how do you not know that like that's what you're living in, to the point where like
you're like, come over to my place.
And not only are you inviting her over, like you said, I'll cook you dinner. Like,
no.
How do you not have the self-awareness to be like, no. Like, if you're comfortable living in that, that's one thing.
Point, it becomes like just a mental thing.
Like
I don't know. It's like a
out.
compartmentalization or something. But yeah,
couldn't be me. The way that I clean up, even if I know you guys are coming over, like I wiped the counters down before you guys came over today.
Dude,
in my kitchen
have been we have to sweep every single day now with our new dog. It's so much because it's couldn't be me. Yeah, there's no spaghetti in my bathroom.
No.
Oh my God.
No.
Oh my God. Like honestly, is there anything more itchy than like a gross bathroom? Like a really gross bathroom? Like are you just like itch immediately?
Dude, I saw a TikTok last night of a girl that was whispering, and she was in a dude's bathroom, and she's like, do I need to get the fuck out of here? Because she pans into the shower, and he's got like one of those, it's just a walk-in shower, and he's got like a shelf in the corner. I'm not lying. 17 half-used bottles of Herbal Essences body wash.
No. Why?
17.
Why?
17 of just the same kind.
Like not even different. He's not like hibiscus and then also vanilla. And
bottles of half full Herbal Essences.
It's not
weird.
Like just empties. It's not like he's just like, oh, I need a new one.
Yeah.
What? That's fucking weird.
Yeah. Then that's why she's like, I got to get the fuck out of here. And everyone's like, yeah,
girl,
run. You're in danger.
You do. And that's the safe thing to do. But I would have to know.
I need to know.
I would have to know. I'd be like, look,
what's going on?
What's going on here? Like, do you just have some compulsion where you're like, I can't use it once it gets below the half mark, but I also can't throw it away.
This is all the girls I've slept with. Everyone gets a new bottle.
Oh, God.
They're all the exact same level. Yeah. Like he stops fucking them when it gets to like middle of the bottle. Yeah. He's like, that's how he knows the relationship's done. And I keep them for just like, mementos.
Souvenirs. God.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
It is. Ugh. It's weird. It's off-putting.
I wonder what weird behavior I have that like, I just don't know because I haven't been like introduced to new people in a long time. Like I wonder if I've got like, I don't have like half empty bottle Urban Essences or like hole in my floor. Like I think about that all the time, Cassie, that story you told where that guy had just like a
fucking hole in
fishing
his
hole.
Fishing hole, honey.
In his house.
Honey.
Eric said he knew that he loved me when he went to the bathroom after our first date. Because of course I put out because I was a big old slut for him. But he opened the bathroom cabinet. I think he was looking for like ibuprofen or something. And there was like several open
IBS medication.
Yes, Gas X, Beano, and stuff. And he's like, this gassy bitch is the love of my life.
Oh man, she's the one.
So much like Pepto, Tums.
Wow.
So yeah, That's I guess my dirty little secret. How much gas medication I take. Anyways, okay, here's my story. I was at a party at a friend's house. It was a really nice party. My friend introduced me to a guy who was a high school football coach. We talked and laughed the entire evening. He was attentive and courteous. He asked me if I'd like to go out to dinner the next night at one of his favorite restaurants. He said he particularly liked their roast beef dinner, and there was also entertainment. I thought a nice roast beef dinner with entertainment sounded innocent. I'm sorry.
A nice roast beef dinner. I never called her again.
A nice roast beef dinner.
I thought a nice roast beef dinner with entertainment sounded innocent enough and was a good way to get to know this guy. And besides, he was a friend of my friend.
Where are you going? Like, that's what I want
to know. A nice roast beef dinner with entertainment.
What's the entertainment? What is the entertainment?
The roast beef dinner.
He picked me up and we drove quite a while to get to the restaurant. I wasn't paying attention to any of the signage or advertising on the building.
It's a puppet show, isn't it?
Oh,
he parked the car. Show. He opened my door and graciously walked me inside. That's when it happened. The host at the door recognized him and said, "We got your usual seat, sir." He then escorted us to a table right below the stage. We didn't have to order, but 2 beautiful roast beef dinners were brought to us, and we began to eat.
At a strip club where they serve roast beef?
I swear to God, they better not. Suddenly, better not.
An announcer comes on the loudspeaker and says,
"Ladies and gentlemen,
please welcome to the stage."
Coming to the stage.
After some musical fanfare, out walks a woman in a nurse outfit with white stiletto heels. And she
what? Listen, I have a real question. Are the men okay? Like, are straight men okay?
No.
Like, what the fuck? Why? No. In what universe would you think y'all have gotten away with too much for too long?
Roast beef dinner. Some entertainment.
Gentlemen, please welcome to the stage. Every few minutes, another piece of clothing drops into my date's face.
No.
And he's laughing and clapping. He then begins to feed her
usual
money.
Usual table, bitch, please.
Yeah. When you're recognized at the club, that's a whole
flag.
Oh, God.
When they save a table for you.
Yeah.
You've spent money, honey,
they're like,
in that club.
You got to have Mike's table ready for him. Yeah. Every few minutes, another piece of clothing drops into my date's face.
He's bringing a friend.
Laughing and clapping. He feeds her money. I won't say how she retrieved it. Here I am, just putting a piece of rare roast beef into my mouth, just as she presented her retrieval mechanism 2 feet in front of me.
Oh, God. Just
Yoinks.
Booty hole right in the face. Right in the face.
To eat
clap.
roast
the
beef.
last thing I want to see if I'm eating roast beef. Those things should not be combined.
The last thing I want to do is be on a stage where people are eating roast beef.
No. The smell of roast beef. The smell of roast beef while you are trying to be sexy. Can you fucking imagine?
No.
Just also, guys, like, stop. We don't need to get our dinner, a plated dinner at a strip club. Like,
oh God.
Where else do you get a nice roast beef dinner and entertainment, Keegan?
I know my jaw was hanging on my chest. I excused myself to go to the restroom, called for a cab, and skirted out of there as fast as I could. Mind you, I have nothing against strip shows or strippers. And if we've been dating a while, I would possibly found it sort of entertaining. But on a first date with a high school football coach was just dumbfounding and insulting. He called me the next morning and asked if there was anything wrong. I hung up on him and we never spoke again.
Listen, I support that. You know, I support a real like block and move on kind of situation. But in this case, it's like, look,
you need to know.
That man needs to know. Like, you got to tell them, because the men out here are obviously getting too bold. And I understand I'm conflict avoidant, but at some point we got to be like, hey, there's spaghetti in your fucking bathroom. Like, what the fuck's going on here?
Like, what makes you think that a strip club is an appropriate place for a first date?
We are not,
bro. You broke my fucking leg.
No, there's no chance of a second.
No.
Like, and just we've had more than one story where a man has surprised a woman with the strip club on a first date.
With
and it's
spaghetti.
Why
in the bathroom.
Don't you like, because some people would be fine with that and totally into it. If you just were like, hey, like, I'd love to take you to my favorite strip club. There's someone out there who's like, I'm down. Let's go.
Yeah,
you know
because I think that if you came out with it
me.
ahead of time, you're like, listen, I have this spot and the dancers are so fun and this is why I love it or whatever. Then you're not like put off guard.
Right.
Front row, eating your fucking rare roast beef.
Yes.
When somebody's like,
roast beef is in your face.
seriously. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
I'm just saying.
I
Disclose.
think all of our dates, the audacity.
Honestly.
Just for 1 second, try putting your feet into somebody else's shoes. Just think.
But don't not really.
But just
any amount of empathy would be great.
That's
Like,
really what's lacking from these stories.
You don't know this person well enough to be like, they're going to be fine with this.
There's what's happening, I see, is there's a real main character energy amongst everyone that's happening, that they're just the only ones whose feelings matter, they just have no semblance of anything outside of their bubble. They're
any
like,
regard.
nothing.
Yeah.
Listen,
wild.
It's all a simulation. It's not that important.
There you go.
Just be chill, be cool,
Be cool, man.
Just be cool, man.
Just be cool. Don't be all not cool.
Well, you guys want to take a break and we'll come back with Tainted Love?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're back. And I have our Tainted Love story today. And I have a story that's going to be pretty sad.
Okay.
And I want to start off with a little bit of a trigger warning for anybody who's dealt with abuse of any kind from domestic partner. So there'll be some of that today. So I just want to give a little trigger warning for that. I am going to tell you the story of Dr. Amie Harwick. I got a lot of my information from the show Death by Fame on ID. 48 Hours did an episode about her, and then there was a really insanely good episode or article in Rolling Stone by E.J. Dixon. So you guys are going to know the story immediately.
Okay.
I don't know if you recognize her name right off the bat.
Yeah.
Dr. Amie Harwick was born in Pennsylvania in a really small town. She grew up. She was adopted as a baby. And she was like kind of this alternative girl. She was like super into like heavy metal and like
cool.
Totally like those emo vibes, right?
Love it.
So I'm like literally watching this. I'm like, we would have been friends.
Yeah.
Like we would have been friends for sure. She wanted to escape her small town life. I mean, so relatable. Moved to LA. Relatable. She was a vibrant character.
So we've met a lot of people like her. I think.
Yeah. And I think we're very similar, in that way. We're like, all three of us are from, Christina's from, I guess you're from the city mostly. I grew up in a small town outside of the city kind of situation, but we're all from the Midwest.
Yeah.
And, growing up in that situation can feel lonely. It did for me anyway. It felt lonely to grow up in a small town. And so I was excited to move to a big city where I could,
big city dreams.
Yeah, my big city dreams. But she was like a vibrant character. She's absolutely gorgeous. She gets like commonly mistaken for Dita Von Teese. They run in the same circles.
I know this story now. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
She is like an absolute stunner. Like, honestly, I think that she's prettier than Dita. She's absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
Absolute stunner. And she's got those kind of like, she grew into her style. She's like somebody who was like, started off like kind of being, but she grew into this kind of classic feminine style where she had that very pin-up-y vibe to her, even naturally so, because there was like times where she wasn't necessarily dressed quote unquote in character or like the character version. But honestly, a red lip on her and she was like immediately had that instant kind of classic Hollywood beauty vibe. And when she moved to the city, she was like, I'm going to get myself, I'm just going to like build myself up. She relied on no one. She was making money as a go-go dancer, but she was also doing, all kinds of stuff. She was doing some modeling.
I wonder if she worked at Jumbos.
I don't know. It didn't say. She did fire dancing and stuff. And she used to be invited out to like the Playboy Mansion to do shows like tricks like that, things like that. Mm-hmm. So she was invited to do like, that was kind of her specialty, was doing fire dance stuff.
Yeah.
She paid her way through fucking school. She went to Pepperdine, got her master's degree, ended up going back and getting her PhD. She was driven,
ambitious.
Smart. And her friend went on one of the interviews, was like, oh, she paid for school, like cash money. Like she was.
Some people just have a talent at doing, like, getting it done. You know what I mean? Like some people are just great at that.
And she was using her beauty and her talents to get her there, and good for her.
Good for
like,
you.
Listen,
yeah, you use what you got.
That's
okay.
Exactly
like we
right.
didn't set up this system to be what it is.
Listen, she also kind of had started to get a bit of a reputation. She'd been connected to a slew of like Hollywood quote unquote bad boys, like Dave Navarro, who's like, I like when the bad boy thing. I'm like, he's not a bad boy at all. He's like, but he has like, he's a rocker.
Have you seen that documentary about his mom?
No, I haven't.
What? Who was his mom?
His mom is not somebody famous, but he was also, so he ties back into the story later. But yes, his mom was killed by her boyfriend.
Oh my God.
Yeah. In a very somewhat, I think, similar way.
Yeah.
So it's a really tragic story.
Oh, that's awful.
She was connected to him, like just in like circles.
Also, always thought Dave Navarro was hot.
Oh, totally fucking
so
hot.
Yeah, very
He's
hot.
very short, but he's very hot.
But
I'm
very
okay with
hot.
that.
Very, very
yeah.
hot. She also was connected to Crispin Glover for a while. She had dated Marilyn Manson. Also,
Crispin Glover's not a bad boy at all.
But he has a look.
He's
got
a
weird boy.
He's got a sneaky boy link. Yeah, sneaky link vibe. Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But he's not a bad boy. He's just like what's going on there?
Yeah,
vibe.
He's the one that you hook up with. You don't really talk about. You don't tell anybody.
If he took me home and he like had a collection of vintage knives, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
like that's the energy.
That's so funny because she actually was that person. She had like a collection of like vintage poison bottles. Like,
that's
love
awesome.
that stuff.
Yeah,
I love that.
Like very
Me too.
macabre. She was like, she had like
apothecary.
Yes,
I love that.
Yes, like skulls and bones and like of animals and things like that. So it was very much her
Weird.
vibe,
It didn't work out with Crispin Glover because I feel like that energy.
I feel like that vibe would have been a definite match. But she did. She dated Marilyn Manson for a while. But also she was
gross. That guy.
Connected to some other bad boys. No-name bad boys. Amie had met a guy named Gareth Pursehouse. He's a photographer and an IT tech by day and a wannabe comedian by night.
Babes, no.
I'm gonna go ahead and do a red card on that.
You're kibosh that immediately.
There's two things, one in the day and one in the night, that just automatically red flag that person.
Yeah,
it's
either
true.
of those things on their own, we could be like, well, we can talk it out. Like we can, but I'm just like, you have to be. I find a lot of comedians attractive, but like you have to be so good as a comedian for me to date you.
You actually got to be funny.
You have to be really funny and like not fucking annoying
or mean.
Or mean.
Punching below.
A lot.
They showed like some small clips of him and his stand-up. But I was like,
Gareth. No.
Pursehouse. Could you imagine your last name had to be Pursehouse if you married him?
Gareth Pursehouse is quite the name.
I feel like you should be a comedian with that name, but he should not have been.
Oh man.
So like I'm talking about like not even type A. I wouldn't call her that because she was driven, but she wasn't like somebody who was like, I'm, going for it and doesn't matter who gets in my way. She was a family therapist. She went into therapy. Mm-hmm. She was driven to help people and specifically really wanted to, help women. That was like her goal in life, is to help women. So it was it's kind of sad actually that she ends up being this person for so many people and ends up kind of just picking.
Isn't that the way though?
Yeah.
Isn't that the way?
And this guy turned out to kind of be a total piece of shit. He was very territorial. And when they broke up in 2012,
it's probably very insecure.
Yeah.
Like you're
that guy and look at her.
Yeah.
She's a fucking knockout, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, like honestly, a fucking full ass knockout.
And there's also not a lot of men who I think are secure enough for like some of those famous exes, I think that becomes a thing for them too, where they have to, tear somebody down. I saw a TikTok the other day talking about narcissism. It's like narcissists always pick somebody that is a knockout, that is a 10.
Yeah, because they think they deserve it.
Yeah. And they also think that it's like they get a rush of like knocking them down.
See, and that's why I'm glad that I'm not quite a 10. That's really what that. But Keegan is trying so hard not to laugh.
Because I'm just like, it's funny because it's just like, yeah. The universe knew what it was doing. Okay, like it can't give me that much power.
Come
okay?
on.
Also, I don't want to attract those narcissists. But
right.
yeah, no, it is an interesting thing that like they do tend to go after women like this, but they're so deeply insecure that they like you have to be, if you're going to be like kind of a normal person and like trying to date somebody famous, you have to be so fucking secure in yourself and in that relationship for that to work. Like you have to be really okay with the fact that like
you're
this
dating
person
an 11
and they're exposed to this other world. They're exposed to all these other people. People are going to be looking at them. People are going to make comments. Like you have to be okay with it.
She is an 11, right? Like she's not even a 10. I mean, this bitch is A+ beautiful, but it's not even that. She's got the brains. She's so smart. She's so empathetic. She's just a really
whole package,
solid human being. And it's just like, which is what makes this the most heartbreaking story across the board. But they broke up 2012 and he was not about it. He was like, started pursuing her to the point of like stalking, and he
knew he wasn't going to do better.
No,
like that's the thing.
Clearly isn't.
Yeah.
Amie finally had to get a restraining order. At some point, she'd gotten to like with her career. So like she gets this restraining order and it kind of seems to like, he goes away. She done. It's all over with. But during that same time, she is about to get this really incredible job with the prisons in LA, and she's about
doing
to get
therapy work.
Doing therapy work for
That's amazing.
the prisons.
That's amazing.
Unfortunately, something weird happens, and the prisons actually were sent anonymously these pictures of her that had been shot early in her career, nudes that she.
Oh my God. We got to get over this shit. Like in this country, this like puritanical fucking nonsense that like, because somebody's seen you naked. Like,
I know, but it's, a prison. And if these pictures had gotten around, she's actually, that might impact her safety in the place and, or, her role as somebody that they could come to for therapist, I guess. I don't know. I think it's all very, like you said, puritanical bullshit.
Yeah.
But I think we can all guess who probably blocked this big career move.
Can we also have a conversation about like, do restraining orders ever do anything?
No.
Ever? Because like how many of these stories have we told? Like, do they ever do a fucking thing?
They put it on paper.
To have it on paper. Like that's fucking it. Because it's just like people have walked right through restraining orders. Like,
it doesn't matter. It's a piece of paper. Yeah. Thinking, of course, that somebody had sabotaged her. This is her big shot, right? She thought this is her big, into the therapy world. She's going to be really making a name for herself. She's going to be doing what she loves. Yeah. She decided to take a detour. That's actually when she does get her PhD in sex therapy. She decides that she's like, okay, I guess this is who I is now. I'll take this therapy. And it was one of her friends that was like, have you ever thought about sex therapy in a town like Los Angeles? This is something that could be really beneficial. Right. It could be something that you could really, take on and own. And she fucking did. Of course she did, because she is just that kind of woman. And so she does. She makes a name for herself as a sex therapist. And she works with a lot of, people who do sex work for a living. So she's helping people who maybe transitioning from sex work into another field or things like that. So she's an amazing human being. Once again, she writes books. And so she's getting really well known. She's building up her career in her industry and, starts to, like I said, just really make a name for herself. And it does tend to draw like a kind of a sketchy crowd too, sometimes to her office. But, she quickly, turns those people away and focuses on where her career is.
Sex therapy is like so real and so important.
It is
like
so
it's
real and
so important.
Yes.
Like And yeah, again, anything, again, because of the way that we are, like as a nation, like anything with the word sex attached to it, we're
absolutely,
like, fucking grow up,
get a grip.
It really is like the source of a lot of issues right now across the country. Being a woman right now in America couldn't be more infuriating.
Yeah, and frightening in general.
Yeah.
So she's starting her career. This is actually also too, she's starting to date Marilyn Manson, which is also notoriously not a person you want to date.
Bad guy.
He clearly has a type.
Yes.
Because he also dated Dita Von Teese.
Yes.
Which is kind of weird, especially because they do look so similar.
They
really
look
similar.
A lot alike.
On her birthday, though, it was kind of like that was a little bit of the last straw. She was like made plans. They were going to go out. He totally, blew her off.
Marilyn Manson did?
Yeah.
Okay,
of course.
yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah.
He seems like that kind of guy.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. But it's around that same time that she met the better Cleveland option, Drew Carey.
Oh my God. I love that. I did not know that Marilyn Manson was from Cleveland.
Well, he's from a town just below Cleveland. So same area. Yeah.
Oh, Ohio native.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I love Drew Carey.
Listen.
Same.
And he does interview actually on 48 Hours because they speak to him. So it was really interesting to hear, his side too and his take and hear from her friends. It was, at any rate, he met her and he was just like blown away.
Yes, smitten.
Immediately, of course. Again, a fucking stunner. And they hit it off though in a very meaningful way. Like he's like, not only is she gorgeous, she's so smart.
Yeah.
So,
empathetic.
Yes, just as empathetic. Exactly. He, in his interview, was talking on 48 Hours, and he was talking about how like he has his own personal issues with, his looks and his weight and things like that. And he goes, she was literally the first person I've ever been with in my life that I would take my shirt off in front of. And she still thought I was sexy. And she still thought I was an amazing person. And he was just like, like she changed the way I felt I could love or be loved. And it was just,
so
heartbreaking.
Amazing. Yeah.
Their first date was to Disneyland. I'm like, you had me immediately with that. I mean, come on.
That's really cute.
Yeah.
Thinking about like Drew Carey at Disneyland.
Yes.
It's
right.
adorable.
On a date. But, and then one of his friends too, he didn't bring it up, but one of the friends on the other interview has said, that was their first date. But then the next date, he invited like her to bring like 10 of her friends and they all went to Disney. And I'm like, once again, you had me at Disney and I'm in. I'm hooked. But he was a very like generous guy from what, the other people talked about him. And they had a wonderful relationship. They very quickly actually ended up moving in together. He proposed to her in Paris. It was just a beautiful relationship. And they were so happy and so in love. And, while they're trying to keep their love a little bit under wraps, they're trying to keep it private. They're at the same time, Amie is being cyberbullied by someone who is selling quotes, who's selling stories to the Inquirer. It was under this duress. Basically, the Inquirer's like, we're going to print these stories if you don't come out and tell your truth. Basically, it was under this duress that they did decide to go public with the relationship. So it was Valentine's Day episode of The Price is Right.
Yep.
And he brings her out and introduces her as, his fiance, because it's Valentine's Day. And he's like, this is, love of my life. And, this new public image, though, dating someone famous can be a lot.
And Drew Carey, he has like such a brand as well, like that, like he's like the Family Guy. Yeah. He's got like, he's a game show host. Like that's a certain kind of energy.
Yes.
And again, people in this country can't fucking handle it. So they're like, she's a sex therapist. She dated Marilyn Manson. Like,
and so of course the hate starts immediately. There's an age gap too. There's 23-year age gap. So of course the comments are fucking brutal. Claims that she's a gold digger. And it seems like really everyone is, outing, just a slew of hateful comments, right? It's just awful.
I'm so tired of people
comment like on anything anymore. Because, and I really wish that more people would just like think, nobody cares about your fucking opinion.
Nobody cares.
Sharon from Omaha.
Like literally no one.
Who the fuck are you?
Right.
I don't understand why people think that their opinion matters.
Especially a negative one.
And they have to share it about everything. thing.
Well, these people are just concerned for, Drew. He's such a great guy and she's too beautiful for him.
Drew's grown. Drew can take care of himself. Yeah. Okay?
Drew's fine. Oh, there better be a prenup, all that kind of shit.
Mind your business.
But it was the comments there were, of course, difficult, but it was the comments that started showing up on her professional review sites, like doctor reviews. So there's doctor reviews and like people who were like, oh, she did this or she did that or she's awful. And she starts to worry, like, this could really fucking affect my career. Like, I built something for myself and has nothing to do with Drew Carey. It has everything to do with what I have been doing and building for myself. And Drew is an amazing support. He's completely supportive of her and always, knows that she's under this kind of constant scrutiny. And that does start to affect their relationship.
Yeah, it can't not.
Yeah. At some point, it's just the constant badgering, the constant. And I mean, that's why I tell people too, I'm like, if you aren't somebody who can use those comments to be a badass, you need to use those comments, in that way, like to encourage you. You're a person who takes those comments and wears them on your inside heart. You got to not look at them. You just can't.
Yeah. No.
You can't.
Yeah, you have to not engage. But she doesn't really have a choice but to engage because it's on her professional shit.
That's exactly.
Because it's like, you can just like not get on Instagram, not look at the comments, but it's just like once it starts affecting your job, it's like you have to pay attention to it. And like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Like,
and she's starting to get nervous too, because weird things are happening, even around their house. Like she's with a famous person. So like her guard is even more up. And it's October 2018. The police are actually called to the residence that she shares with Carrie. And she's saying that there's a trespassers that were on the property. Of course, by the time they get there, they're gone. Right. But Amie is living there alone at the time. She's there by herself. She's extremely scared. It's a month after that. That she does end up they call off the engagement. It doesn't say who, there's no blame placed. They do leave. And there was a very serious sense between everybody that talks about it, that they both left on very amicable terms. It was a heartbreak for both of them. Mm-hmm. Neither of them wanted it to end this way. Neither of them wanted it to end at all. They both thought this was the person that they're going to be with forever. And then, but because of the drama, the way things just were turning out, she'd worked so hard to build what she'd built.
Yeah.
It's
a lot of strain.
It's a lot. It's a lot. 16 months after they break up though, she'd actually reached out to Drew and asked to talk to him. She'd messages him. She wants to have a reunion. She missed him. And her friends say that she would talk about him all the time, how much she loved him. And really, I think at this point, I don't know if it was her intention to get back together as much as it was her intention to just have some real closure about the way that things ended and really, come to terms with that. So there's no one will know, because on Valentine's Day, like the day after she messaged Drew on the 13th on Valentine's Day, she has plans to go out with her friends. They're going out for a night with the single girls, just girls' night out. Yes, exactly. They go to a friend's burlesque show. They return home. Go out after all the stuff. They return home. It's around 1 a.m. Her roommate is woken downstairs by the sounds of her screaming upstairs.
Oh, no.
Her roommate panics. And, he's like, shit, he can't find his phone. So he jumps out of his window. He's stuck in this like courtyard that he can't get out of. So he jumps over the fence, tries to go over to the neighbors. It's just like, by the time he actually gets to the police or call the police, it's like 14 minutes later. So he is panicking. He finally catches somebody to call 911. The police come. And by the time that they get there, she has sustained multiple injuries, most of them to her head. She has actually been found. She wasn't in her room at this time. She was found from just below her 3-story balcony from her bedroom. So her bedroom was on the 3rd floor of this house. She's found on the ground outside.
That roommate is going to have a lot of shit to process.
The person who never is interviewed, by the way, like he's never come on. I mean, like, and I wouldn't, like, I would be just devastated. Oh my God.
The way that you would always blame yourself.
Yeah. They said that he had tried to yell to try to scare the person off. Like, hey, tried to like verbally scare this person away.
It'd be awful. Just awful.
Devastating. On her hands are defense wounds, of course. In the apartment, there's signs of a major struggle. There's broken glass. The shutters to the balcony had been broken, and they found a syringe, oddly enough, full of nicotine. she hadn't been injected, but there was definitely enough in the syringe to be fatal. And so they immediately were like,
this person came in with an intention.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's their first
degree.
Absolutely. There's intent here, right? So the autopsy confirms that she does pass away at Cedars very shortly after.
Awful.
Yeah.
God, awful.
Autopsy confirmed that she had been strangled and died of the combination between the trauma from the fall, and the trauma from the fall. Police immediately look at Drew. They're like, you called this guy day before, like Drew Carey, like what's going on?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, they were exes, of course. So again, you gotta look. You gotta look. And again, they'd recently been texting about making plans to meet up after Valentine's Day. But he was very quickly cleared. There was,
Right. I mean, obviously they were in an okay space because she was texting him wanting to meet up. It's not like they were in like this like really acrimonious like
bad
situation.
Place,
yeah.
Right. And Amy's close friends, of course, were quickly cleared as well. Like her roommate, all these people were just like, not have nothing to do with it. And of course they start finding, evidence at the crime scene, fingerprints, blood. She's got stuff under her nails, and so they start to like break down, and every one of her friends is like, have you looked at Gareth Purse's house?
Yeah.
Have you checked out Gareth Purse's house? Because we're pretty sure it's him.
Yeah.
And in fact, one of her friends was like, there was an incident that happened in January, just a month before. She had gone to this X-Biz Awards last minute. She'd gotten a last minute invite. On the red carpet, she sees Gareth. He's a photographer, so he sees her. And she sees him and is like, oh, shit. He starts, and I think she probably at first didn't think anything of it. Just like, oh, wow, I haven't seen this guy in fucking 8 years.
Yeah.
Almost 9 years.
Exactly.
Like, this is really awkward. But he loses his fucking shit. He literally goes up to her and like, she has to like pull him aside and like what she calls goes into therapy mode. He's crying, falling to the ground. You lied to me, screaming at the top of you ruined my life, bitch. Dramatic.
Take some responsibility for your own fucking life. I get so fucking sick with that. Like
terrifying. Do you know how long like 8-9 years is?
It's a long time to be that emotional. Like it's not like the breakup just happened.
Yeah.
You ruined my life, bitch. That means you've been thinking about me for 8 fucking years.
Yeah.
That's scary as fuck.
That's terrifying.
She tries to calm him down. There's even evidence too that somebody had said that not only did that happen outside, but then he even came into the fucking venue while the awards were going on, and she had to take him back outside and have another conversation.
She shouldn't be having to do shit. Where the fuck is security?
Well, security, that's the thing. They were like, everybody was like, security was there, and security had their eyes on it. Like they were watching it, but they were like, he wasn't doing anything except for being dramatically sad and ridiculous.
But this is an award show.
Oh, true. No, they went outside.
But I know, but she shouldn't have even gone outside.
Yeah,
they should have taken him outside.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this is an award show. He's coming in and making a scene. Security should have taken him outside.
Absolutely.
They should not have ever let her go outside with him.
And
that
be
is
the one
some
that
fucked
has
up
to
shit.
deal with it.
No,
Yeah.
it's not her job to de-escalate the situation. Like, sorry.
At any rate, she does. And again, I think it has a lot to do with her own empathy and her like need to, be a therapist, be empathetic, take on,
I'll tell you how fast I would run if somebody from like 8 years ago was still like at that level.
At that level? No.
You couldn't catch me. I would be
my
so
ex still
fast.
says nasty shit about me.
That's fucking weird.
Isn't it?
That's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, because it's been 10 years.
Honey, sir.
Oh my God.
You need therapy.
Yeah, that's a whole ass like decade.
That's wow.
Yeah.
Wow, woo wee wow. Okay, here we go. So again, she tells friends though that she thinks that Gareth is, who's a techie, also had hacked into her phone and had been monitoring her messages. So even too, like some of her friends were like, she won't never talk bad about him on text. She would talk about him in text, but like not by name. She would be like, but like a lot of weird things had started happening. This was like after a recent trip, she was out of town. So scary. Amie also, I mean, when we talk about evidence piling up, also found a letter that she had emailed herself the night of that event that literally laid out everything that happened, how scared she was. It literally laid out the incident, that she had not seen him for like almost 9 years. Like this was like, how it affected her. And she told friends too. She's like, and she wrote in that letter, she was like, if anything ever happens to me, it's him.
Oh no.
Just real fucking spooky shit. She starts, after also to that incident, she starts sharing her location with her friend. It's on her phone. She does the share my location.
Shouldn't have to live like that. That's so sad.
Yeah.
Well, it's fucking frightening. Police follow up, search Gareth's house. During the search, they find 3 syringes that match the make and model and contents to the one that was found in Amy's house. They also found bloody clothing as well as from the injuries he had sustained from the incident in his home. The lab proved that DNA from Gareth was found under her fingernails. It's a bulletproof case. But only 4 days after he's arrested, he's out on a $2 million bond. All of her friends are in fear. Everybody's freaking the fuck out.
Can we just please talk about like how the justice system, and we've talked about it before, but it's just like, if you have money, it just straight up doesn't apply to you. Right. Like it just does not apply to you. It's just like, do what you want. Like everybody around you just has to deal because you can pay to get yourself out of fucking jail. Yeah. Like go fuck yourself.
There is a clause in his bail though that he can't be in certain places. He can't be near the airport, all this kind of stuff. But
I'm sure that's,
people like Dave Navarro.
Deter.
Really enforceable. Yeah.
And I'd heard this at the time that Dave Navarro had done this, but Dave had actually reached out and called the police and were like, you need to put this fucker back in jail. He's a fucking
murderer.
He's a murderer and he's a threat to people. Gareth, like I said, one point had actually said that that Amie had cheated on him with Navarro. That never happened. They actually never had a relationship quite like that. They had been in the same circles and stuff like that, but that never happened. He just said that it happened. So it was like all in his head. So of course he's probably scared. But
even if she had.
Yeah, even if she had.
Don't honestly get to fucking like completely ruin her life and then murder her. Like, sorry.
But Dave actually had called because he had concerns about one of his friends who was a women's violence advocate who might also be a target from him. So between all this, the bond restrictions, he was actually found near LAX, which was enough to take him back into custody. August of 2020, there was a preliminary hearing, but because of the pandemic, there was no trial at that point. So I'm going to read to you something from the article from Rolling Stones that I thought was that I wanted to read word for word because I found it to be compelling into the story, which is that in the wake of Harwick's death, a petition had circulated calling for the expansion of legal protection for survivors of domestic violence, which has garnered nearly 100,000 signatures. It calls for signers to support the passage of laws like SB 1141, which would broaden the definition of intimate partner violence beyond physical abuse to make coercive control or a partner depriving another of personal liberty an offense punishable by up to 1 year in prison.
Yeah.
So this is like putting in real legislation that will give, it's not just about having now a restraining order, a piece of paper that says, I'm going to hold you back. But if you're trying to do these things, or if you've done these things to me, you can now be held in prison for a year.
Yeah.
There's going to be consequences to your actions, not just a piece of paper trying to protect you.
Good.
And so it's really, in the wake of such a awful tragedy, that, things like this are coming about. Nothing to this point, there has, like I said, no trial has been, happened to this point because of the pandemic, but it is promising to see that hopefully there's things that this has awoken in the national mind and that we're speaking about it. But truly, justice has not yet been served for Amie. And, they're hoping that this year he will actually be going to trial this year, 2023. So that is the hope. But yeah.
It's so upsetting because it's just like insecure, sad, pathetic people. You know what I mean? Just like can't handle your big boy emotions and have to fucking take it out on the people around you. Like get help.
Yeah,
truly.
I think when I feel big feelings, I definitely turn inward and I think like, what can I do? I've never understood that like I'm having big feelings. Yes, I need to take it out on other people.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. I do the same thing.
Lash out and stuff. Like if I'm feeling insecure or whatever, I'm like, what should I do? Maybe I should take like an exercise class, or maybe I should like, maybe I'll start a new hobby or something like that. Like that's where my mind goes. I just never understood that.
I understand being heartbroken and like
Truly.
you carry around stuff whenever people hurt you badly, right? Like, and like, I get it. Like everybody's been there. Everybody's been heartbroken.
But the problem is that he was hurt by the relationship breaking up. But truly in the statement or in the restraining order, the stuff that he did to her physically was so awful.
Right. But I mean, I guess what I'm saying is like, I understand like when relationships break up, people get irrational. And like, I understand that like you feel hurt by another person. I've felt hurt, you know, by other people when relationships have ended as well. The clinging to that hurt and carrying it with you and
for
like
fixating
over and over, because that's what you have to be doing. Truly. Like every day you have to be reminding yourself of like how badly you're hurt. Like that to me is like so weird. Like it's just
wasteful. Like that's what you want to do with your life
is
and
being
your energy.
Wasted. Like, yeah, it's so strange.
Yeah.
It's so strange.
You know, it's the cause of like all of her friends too, is to make this story a message that, you know, there is help available, and they're trying to use this as a platform to help create and garner supports for, you know, people who are in this situation. But I also wanted to end it with, if anyone you know, or if you're personally dealing with domestic violence situations, to call the National Domestic Violence Hotline. It's available 24/7. And the number is 1-800-799-7233. Again, that's 1-800-799-7233, or visit thehotline.org. So these are resources that are available to you that can help you get out of situations in which you might be being harmed. So
that makes me so mad.
Yeah.
Stories like that make me so fucking mad.
It's infuriating.
Reminder though, you know, even somebody that's like specifically trained, like a PhD in how to deal with that kind of situation, it's still like
nobody is above, you know, being put in situations. Yeah. You know, it's, and it has nothing to do with her. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the thing. A lot of times people get in these situations and they think, oh, what did I do? What did you know, it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with this awful human being who has no control over themselves.
It can happen to anybody, because it's like these people don't like present themselves in such a way that, you know, right away that like they're going to do this to you, you know,
of course
like
not.
Yeah. Yeah. Horrible.
What are you guys watching this week?
Well, besides Queer Eye, which I would say do go watch, like even that like
it's like a hug.
It is like a hug. And that frat house episode was I know I talk shit about that house, but seriously, if you've seen it, you understand. But they were so sweet. Like the boys who lived in that house were genuinely like so sweet and lovely, and it was nice to see. But besides that, I have started season 2 of Prehistoric Planet. I fucking love it. Like
I also do, but I'm also like, how do you know?
I feel the same way. I'm like, you don't know. You don't know.
There's no way that you can extrapolate what a dinosaur sounds like.
Yeah.
You know what I
like,
mean?
How? Like, I feel that way as well. Like when they're showing, like, have you seen the second season yet? The first episode of the second season, when my favorite, who's like not even a dinosaur, he's like a predecessor of the crocodile.
Yes.
He's so fucking cute. But he's doing that thing where he's trying to like ward off the predator, like dinosaur.
How do they know
he's
that?
Like whisking his tail around. He's like, back. I'm like, how do they know? How do they know that that's the behavior that they used to like ward off predators? How?
It's a very calming show, though.
But it's lovely.
I really like
it. It is beautiful.
Very beautiful.
The speculation is fun.
Yeah.
And I'm sure like there's some paleontologist who's like, well, we actually know because blah, blah. So listen, I don't believe David Attenborough would just be feeding me bullshit. Like there's got to be a reason. But from the outside looking in, I am just very like,
skeptic.
How?
Yeah.
It's beautiful though and fun, and
I can't watch it. I'm literally right now in a class that's like about pseudo-archaeology and pseudoscience, and like some of these shows like Ancient Aliens that try to like make people believe that.
What's that one that was just on Netflix that was like
Apocalypse or whatever? Ancient Apocalypse.
Yeah.
That shit had me rolling my eyes so hard. I watched the first episode and I was like, okay.
I didn't even watch it.
We
you
watched
told me
the
and I was
first
like
5 minutes, and they like within that 5 minutes he's like, all of the major archaeologists and scientists don't agree. And then I was like, then neither do I.
Yeah. And then he's like, I had to do these alternative methods to get the word out. He's like on Joe Rogan. I'm like, oh, okay.
Nope.
So you had to twist the facts to make them sound like it matched your idea. Okay, cool. Yeah. I'm actually watching, I started watching Body of Proof, which is an old show that was on ABC like years ago. And I only started watching it because one of our friends said she was in it.
Oh, yeah.
And I was
she was
like,
a dead body.
Looking for her and like all these episodes. I got like halfway, I finished season 1 and got halfway through season 2. And I was like, I can't the show is so fucking bad.
You're like, I will watch every episode of the show until I find you.
I know. And I was like, it's just so dramatic. And it's just like, I mean, I get that it should be, but it's like the personal part of it, like her, like you know how sometimes they input like their personal drama lives. And you're like, I don't need that.
You're not Law and Order. That's not what I came. SVU. Like you're not Olivia Benson. I don't care. About your personal
and
life.
Honestly, they don't do that a lot on that show, which was why when I did watch that show, it was like, oh, I did like it because it wasn't, you had little bits, but it wasn't like,
it was enough. Like I knew enough about their lives that I was just like, I felt engaged in what was going on with their lives, but they weren't at home all the time. But Christina, and Cassie, because we did talk about this. I did watch the first episode of The Wire.
Oh, I did too. I did too last night.
It's so good.
I haven't seen it yet.
I fell asleep.
So good. It's so good.
And you know why? Because Eric made me watch Evil Dead Rise.
Oh, was it terrifying? It looks terrifying, actually.
It was really fucking scary.
Yeah.
I thought, it'll be fun, like Army of Darkness.
Evil Dead is campy. That's the thing. Is I'm just like, why is this? Because I watched the trailer for it. I will probably watch it, but the reason why I haven't watched it is because I'm like,
it's fucking horrifying.
I watch Evil Dead for camp.
Yes.
Like it's camp horror.
It doesn't look
campy.
It's fucked up. That's all I'll say about that. Like it is not campy, funny.
We'll not be watching that.
Why is it in
so
the
scary.
Evil Dead universe? Just make your own.
I watch it and then we can talk about it.
Okay.
But
okay.
Yeah. No, but between that and then my Vanderpump Rules obsession, I've had a lot of freaky shit in my head this week. So I'm going to cap off today by having a nice glass of wine and binging some Sanditon.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah, sounds delightful.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Can I come over?
Seriously. Well, if you guys have something that we should watch, if you have a terrible, terrible date story, if you want to just reach out and say hello, go to our one-stop shop of a website. It's myworstdatepodcast.com. And we love you so much.
Cheers.
This is a Glass Box Media Podcast.